a successful mind. This is why, when I talk about mindset of an entrepreneur, like in my book, in my programs, is that part of the biggest struggle you're ever going to face in business is how you think, the stories you believe, and all of those stories you believe would also shape, right, how you show up on behalf of your business and how you communicate your intentions, right, in the marketplace. Because one of the other things I tell my entrepreneurs is branding, marketing, sales, right, requires you to make sure that you really have a very, very strong place in your heart in terms of driving your intentionality, in terms of passion, in terms of your delivery, in terms of how you engage with people. Business is about working with people, right? We don't get to build our businesses in a vacuum. So it's so important. So mindset is the best place I would tell people to start. You also want to think about skill sets. Okay. All the results that we want in business require skills. And so this is how I say it. Okay. Results require action. Okay. So action leads to results, right? But action is dependent on skill. And skill needs knowledge. And there are different levels of skills because mastery of a skill will get you master's results. Okay. It's that the best results in business and life tend to go to the masters. So, what journey are you on to develop your skill and to increase mastery level? Because if what you're getting in your business today is so, take a look at your skill level, take a look at your experience, take a look at your discipline. You will start finding clues there. So, part of the strategy business owners that want results and may not have skills is that's when they start bringing in, you always want to hire people with skills. So, think about that. If you have, like, if I conduct a SWOT with my clients, we want you to lean on your strengths, but there might be areas where you're not strong in, but your business needs strengths in that area. That's when you start looking for support. And be clear that the only people that would be relevant to your own growth are people who have skills. So if you hire the wrong people, listen, you get what you get. And you've heard all the stories. I hired this person, the person gave me the wrong result. I got to this coach didn't give me the right result. It's because you have to be diligent and focused in your selection of skill delivery. Because if you get the wrong person into your business, they will get you the wrong results. The other thing I talk about is systems and strategy. So as we go on, I'll continue to unwrap those things to share with those listening. Okay. So, but for now, let's stick with two mindset and skill set. I think that's even enough for today's discussion. Maybe next week we'll dive into the others. Over to you, Marie.
Thank you so much. I love how we always go back to mindset and skill set, right? Regardless of the mini session, when it comes to pretty much just learning business, if when you are learning about businesses, you're trying to figure out the growth strategy that you have to go, how you have to go about that. Then we end up actually back to mindset and skill
Mindset.
set, right? So I love how we always circle back to those two things. Now, when it comes to mindset and skill set, you yourself, you are a businesswoman, right? And you have built pretty much many of these businesses as well out there. When it comes to mindset and skill set, and when you look at the new year as of today, okay, what are I will say, what are the principle that you have
Hmm.
mapped out for yourself, and you will be focusing on doing that as you enter the year? Can you maybe share some insight with us as we're here?
Oh yes, yes. I listen, Marie. You're the best interviewer that I've come by for sure. You get into the real stuff. So the question you're asking in terms of the practice of mindset, like what's my own practice, and as we're beginning the new year, this is a good time to really implement those things. So I'll share a few. The first thing that is more important, even what I'm about to share, is even more important than setting a goal. Okay, because everybody's talking about goal setting, my goals, my new year resolution. I get it. What I'm about to share with you is more powerful if you implement it. Is answering this question: who do I want to become? Okay? Who do I want to become? Because one of the things I share is that life doesn't give you what you wish for or what you hope for. Life gives you who you are. This is about leveling up yourself first before you say, oh, results. Life gives you who you are. So, who you become is the most important equation on the journey of success. Who you become. Who do men say that I am? For those who are faith oriented, is who you become will shape how people perceive you and how and what they believe you can unlock for them. Okay? So that's more important than goals. Who are you going to become this year? What are you going to create? What is that person going to create? What is that person going to have the ability, skills, perception? What are you going after? Right? Who do you become? What are you going after? What do you want to create? What results do you want to generate? Once you have all of those set up, then you can start getting to goals, action, on and on and on. Because here's why: when people don't answer that question, you can go a full year executing countless things, showing up in the wrong spaces, and you lose. You lose everything. You can show resources, time, energy in the wrong dimensions and end up in negative at the end of the year. Right? If you don't have clarity of focus, clarity of intention, understanding where you're going, who you're becoming, because all of that is supposed to shape where I'm investing my time, energy, and resources. Okay, so I'll stop right there because I want this to be interactive for those who want to come up to the stage and engage. And for those watching me also on the video, feel free to ask questions as well. Over to you, Marie.
Thank you so much, Doreen. Thank you for your insight as well as for the tips and advice that you give it. For those who are joining us, this is the Women in Business. This is an incredible club. If you are a woman in business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a serial entrepreneur, and if you're looking for a community where you can really feel whole, I will say, and be
Mm.
able to connect with like-minded people, this is an opportunity for you as well to reach out and connect and leverage the networks that you have. As I always say, Clubhouse should be a tool, right? It is LinkedIn, but live. We have the opportunity to remotely connect, network, engage, right? So let's use that as well in a positive way to, to grow together and build together. So I love the fact that we went back to mindset because we
Mm-hmm.
talk a lot about mindset,
Yeah.
right? We talk a lot about mindset and skill set, but let's take the first one, mindset. We have talked last year so much about the different two type of mindset people can have. A
Mm-hmm.
growth mindset, right? I think I've said it many times for those who have seen me in many rooms that I enjoy working with people who have a growth mindset because usually there are people that are really they really believe that the intelligence usually and even their skill set will improve through their own effort
Mm-hmm.
usually, right? And the action as well. And they are always open to learn more, learn as they grow. And then we also have a different type of mindset, which is a fixed mindset. Those two type mindset sometimes are very hard for entrepreneur and business owner to figure out exactly where they
Mm.
fit, right? So how can you maybe help people to see the differences when it comes to either finding out if they either
Mm.
have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? Coach, please go ahead. The floor is yours.
I love this question. So let me bring in a unique angle to the topic around growth versus fixed mindset. The unique angle is for people to understand that while there's a collective approach that people take to life, mindset, the mindset you have towards different topics and areas in your life may be distinct. Let me break that down. In the areas where you have skills, where you have disciplined yourself, where you are highly skilled, your mindset will be expanded. So let's say you spent 4 years in college studying accounting. Okay. In accounting, you've invested countless years. You are confident in your skills in accounting. So, in a way, you have a growth, you've expanded your capacity and knowledge base in accounting because you've invested countless years to become an expert and you've attained mastery. Now, when you shift to, say, for example, weight loss, if you haven't studied weight loss, you've not invested 4 years, 5 years to understand the principles behind weight loss, you will struggle. You have a fixed mindset that has not been expanded. If you don't invest time in acquiring knowledge in that space, to expand your knowledge, to learn more, because fixed versus closed right versus winning mindset, in my opinion, this is me Toyin speaking, is based on capacity. How you expand capacity, how you invest yourself in realizing you know what you know and you don't know what you don't know. Your quest to go out there and learn more. So the new perspective I'm just giving right now is for people to know in certain areas you have full confidence, you can perform, you can attain results, you learn more, you read more, right? You have expansive mindset in that dimension. In other areas, because you've never studied sales, you've never studied marketing, you've never implemented branding strategy before, you would tend to show up depending on who you are. This is where pride, arrogance, different things come in. Your willingness to ask questions will expand your understanding. And if you're unwilling to ask questions, you stay where you are. You are fixed in mindset because you refused to expand in knowledge, capacity, and skill. So that's the unique perspective I'm giving in a very, very, very practical way. Because when people say growth mindset, fixed mindset, people tend to present it as who you are. I say it's based on what you're trying to do part time and based on the results you want to get. The outcomes will determine if you have fixed mindset on marketing. Whatever you believe about marketing is based on the knowledge you have. Whatever you believe around branding, if you say, oh, I don't need to brand, oh, everybody should know me, oh, I have value, listen, that's a fixed mindset, people. That right there is why you are failing at it. But if you've studied it enough, listen, those who have studied branding, every single day they are studying more. They are reading more books. They're taking more lessons, more programs. They're getting coaches. Why? They continue to grow in their knowledge in that area. And those who don't grow will remain fixed, limited, and will not see the results they want. So I just wanted to bring in that perspective that mindset is not just totality of who you are. There may be a collective mindset, but the mindset with which you're living life in particular spaces, right? Family, relationship, wealth building, health, on and on, is based on the knowledge, expertise, and the investment you've made in yourself to expand the knowledge you have in that area. Let me know what you think. That's my own perspective. Over to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Tori. That is incredible. For those who are listening in, guys, please come on stage. The room is yours. Come on stage, ask any questions you may have. Again, all right, it is an interactive session for all of us to have as much information as we can, get, but also learn from each other. Either you have done it in the past, or if you even have an expertise that is similar to Coach Tori, come on stage, share that with us. Maybe you have went through a challenge and you may have some tools and tips and advice as well that you use to overcome that, right?
Mhm.
Again, as we always say, sharing is caring, right? So feel free to come on stage and share that with us as well, right? So the second question, I've always said the second segment that we had, that was the skill set. But I think before we can even dive into skill set, I would love to welcome, Inyom Nam that's actually here in the public. I'm trying to bring you on stage. I don't know what is happening here. Oh, you here. Perfect. Welcome on Clubhouse. Welcome here. It's great having you. Can you please introduce yourself to those who are listening in? And please either, ask your questions or share some experience as well with those who are listening in. Go ahead. The floor is yours. All right, Coach Toy, I think Inyona may have a mic issue. I can hear her. Can you hear her?
Yeah, no, I'm not able to hear. I think she's also new. She has the party hat on. Do you want to step out? If this is your first time of coming up to the stage, you might need to go out and come back and try it a few times. But welcome to Clubhouse. We'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas as well. So try it again, go out, come back in, and then try to mic on mic as well. Over to you, Mary.
Absolutely. Yes, that's the best thing. It's just to, I will going to move you back to the public and then come back again, or even step out the room and then enter the room again.
Mhm.
And that way I will invite you again on stage. The mic is all usually having that issue, unfortunately. So let's try it again and then let's see how we go from there. And anyone else who would like to come on stage, please guys come on stage, ask your questions so that we can just kickstart an interactive session. Inyom, I'm so sorry. It seems like your microphone is still not working. So I think it may just be like an internet issue as well. You may have similar issue that I was having this afternoon from my end. So I'm so sorry. So try again, back and forth, and hopefully by before we end the room, we will be able to get to
Mhm.
know you as well. So, Coach Tory, I had a question in terms of skill sets, right? We talked a lot about skills, especially when it comes to growth strategies, etc. What can you tell us a little bit about that? What can you share when it comes to your own experience of even expertise that you have seen when it comes to other business owners that you have seen? Please go ahead, the floor is yours.
Oh, skill sets, my expertise. And I had a question here. Peter was saying, is this Clubhouse? Yes, yes, yes. So we are live on Clubhouse, and I'm just broadcasting to those who follow me. So come on, Clubhouse, if you want to ask a question, or you can type your question and I'll relay it to the room and we can discuss it. But go find us. The name of the room is Weekly Q&A Session, Learn Business Growth Strategies. So you can join us on Clubhouse as well. Awesome. So, to your question around skill set, it's my expertise because it's a journey to mastery. The first journey is knowledge. So, you can read a book. So, if there's anything you want to perfect, so let's say, as example, you want to learn how to fish, right? Let's say that's your goal. Remember, I started with who do you want to become before you start talking about goal. So, if you know who you want to become, let's now say your goal is to learn how to fish and you've never fished before, or your goal is to learn how to swim and you've never, ever jumped into the ocean to swim. You don't know how to do these things. Okay? Back to skills, or even a pilot, you want to fly a plane, but you've never flown one, you don't know how to do it. The very first step to developing skill, this is what I teach: go out there and gather knowledge, which is what most people do, but don't stop there. Gather specific knowledge that is filled with instruction and direction. This is where people fail. They fail first in the way they gather knowledge. Not all knowledge is useful and helpful to leading you step by step to what you want to learn. So people can spend the next 6 months listen on Clubhouse or social media and not even learn directionally the next step they need to take. This is So I'm taking you step by step, but I want you to be aware. What you really need is instruction and direction to do a task. And then practicing it over and over and over is how you develop skill. But many people fail at the very first line. How do they fail? They spend incredible amount of time and listen. They engage in useless activities. I'm using very, very strong words because I want people to react, to wake up. That you can spend 6 months gathering nothing, and you can spend a week reading the right book and advance and achieve more knowledge, attain more knowledge, expand more in a week. That most people that do not read books, they can be on Clubhouse 6 months, even 6 years, right? And not learn how to build a business. This is the first failure. Invest in the I'm giving you the fastest way to develop skill. The fastest way is you need instruction and direction. It's like if I want to go from Chicago to New York or Chicago to California, why do I want to go to 1,000 stops before I get to New York? Why do I need to listen to 1,000 people to get to California? Is that really ideal? Is that the best use of my time? When all I need to do is go to Google, type in my destination where I am, even Google would naturally figure out where you are. It will ask you, do you give authorization to this app to look for your location? So it will pick up your location and then it will ask you, I don't know where you're going. You tell us where you're going. You type in the address. Google will spit out to you Step by step direction instruction. When you get here, turn right. When you get here, turn. That is how you arrive at your destination faster. But if you don't go to Google and you want to go to New York, the place you've never been before, and you don't have direction, instruction, a guide, support, oh Lord, how long will it take you to arrive in California? Forever. Ask the pilgrims, ask the people who made the trip in search of gold mine 100 years ago. Ask how long that journey to California took them. Months. What it now takes us seconds. The direction instruction that takes us literally seconds. 100 years ago, you will spend months. You will load up your carriage and your horses on the same journey. The same journey to success, to business growth and success, will cost somebody 10 years, will cost another person months to learn. Skill. So the first step is gathering knowledge. How you gather knowledge, right? The principles you adopt to gather knowledge will determine how quickly you can even know the steps you need to take. Because most people, what the challenge is, they don't know what steps to take. They know what they want, they know where they're going, but they don't know step by step. What do I do today? What do I do tomorrow? What do I need? What's the next step? How do I do what I'm trying to do? And I'm telling you, you always need to be in search of directional and instructional information, because that will help you faster than the chaos out there of listening to 1,000 people. They will send you, they will scatter you abroad. You are lost further. You don't know what to do. The more, in fact, the more unstructured information you listen to, the more confused you get. When you get instruction and direction, all you then have to do is follow the instruction, follow the direction. That's what I do in my academy. Just follow the roadmap. Step one, mindset. Step two, branding. Step three, how well do you know your customer? Step four, marketing. Step right, then follow. People also fail when you talk about coachability. Are you coachable? Will you even listen? If Google gives you direction and you fail to follow direction, listen, that's your fault. So on and on and on. Because skills then develop when you have instruction, when you have direction, and then you practice and discipline yourself. When you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, listen, you get better at it. You know it more, you get it better. So people also fail there. They do not practice. They do something once because it's uncomfortable, because it didn't get them the massive result they were looking for. They stop. People will tell them, okay, invest in this, do your content marketing, do your branding this way. You attempt it once because you've seen people on social media telling you they are balling, they are making money, they made money overnight. You don't know the investments, the years of labor they've invested, right? So when people don't see results immediately, they tend to give up, not realizing that the best results belong to mastery level, that you try again and again and again and 100 times, right? You try that thing 100 times, it will give way to you. Eventually, the wall comes down because you become better, you become stronger, you become impactful. I talk about impact in my programs a lot. Your impact in the world will be more resounding, right? Because of the power you put behind your action. So I'll stop there. I know I just said a lot because it's my expertise. I try to help people so that when you're going on a journey, pack well, prepare for your journey so that you get there faster. But when you don't prepare, you see people out here doing the same thing over. Listen, you can do the same wrong things over and over and over and over and over again and not get the results you're looking for. And I see it, you see it, Marie. We see it every day. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Coach Tony. This is incredible. Thank you again for spending your time with us, but as well as for sharing this insightful information with us as well. For those who are joining us, guys, this is Women in Business, right? It's an incredible club. If you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, regardless if you're a woman or a man, the club welcome anyone that is looking for resource, for tools and knowledge as well, right? Our weekly Q&A session are pretty much here for us to learn everything that is business related,
Mhm.
everything that is growth strategy when it comes to that. But also understanding that when it comes to running a business, you have to go back to school to learn how to do it. If you have never done it, if you have studied something else, if you have never been involved in that, if you've never been surrounded by like-minded people, right, who are also in business, who have given you opportunities when you were maybe very young, maybe by the age of 6, 8, 9, or even 10 years old, right, where you were able to be an entrepreneur and watch either your uncle, your aunt, your mom, your dad run a business. These are just skills that you really just have to go back to the basics and learn them. And it is okay to learn, right?
Mm,
It is okay, and you should be open according to your mindset if this is something that you want to do, right? And once you get there, then the vision, the purpose, and everything that Tony is saying here will even make more sense. So I am so excited about the topic, and I really want us to welcome new voices as well as new opinion. Welcome, Obusede. Welcome here on stage. Thank you so much for joining us. And we also have a question in the chat that I would love for us to address after Obusede. Obusede, please introduce yourself to those who are listening in and either ask your question or share your vision as well. Please go ahead. The floor is yours.
Hi everyone, my name is Abosa Dolo. Today I'm an African fashion designer. Yeah, I have a little question. It's just thoughts, really. And the question is, the limiting mindset, does it have anything to do with levels, as in the level at which you grow? Because I get to know, starting like as a kid, I understand who I'm becoming because Madam Twain talked about who are you becoming. Um, when I was coming up, I get to know I knew who I was becoming, and I went for it. I saw the picture in a designer, and I went for it without anything. And crossing countries, crossing a lot of borders and all that. Like I went for it. But I get to know that at every stage in
mm,
life, the limiting value or the limiting mindset step in, and I'm dropping. Sometimes I drop. So I'm trying to ask, does it have to do with every stage of life or at every stage of business?
mm,
I understand that probably you need to pack more energy, but I get to know um at every stage I struggle more.
mm,
I struggle more with my mindset. So I
mm,
want to know if it has to do too with your level or the stage at
mhm,
which you are or each
mm,
stage at which you are moving.
mm.
Kind of, I think I'm clear enough.
Yes.
Madam, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Tony, please go ahead. The floor is yours.
I completely I love, by the way, Buster, good to see you here. Like, it's I love your question because you're asking the right question. The reason is because what I say is the moment you start producing results, those who are not producing results, we already tackled the gaps. Okay. No action, no results, right? No skills, no action, right? But the people who are taking action, now, your question, I'm going to shift it to the center of those who are now on the journey of productivity. You are applying yourself. You know who you want to be. You are on that right journey. You are taking action. You are taking massive action. You are seeing some level of results. The question you are asking is the right question because this is what productivity is about. How do I produce more? What is in the way of my outcomes? What patterns of thought do I need to disrupt to unleash more of my creativity and productivity? I want more. I'm enjoying results and I believe in myself that me, myself, and I, listen, in this world, there's so much more we want to create. There's so much more we want to produce. There's so much more reward we want for ourselves. That is a question that producers start asking, right? This is why, even this morning, I shared on social media, I said only producers would invest in productivity tools, personal development, personal transformation. Because producers want more. They are the ones that would invest in automation because you want to speed up the rate of return on your investment. You're thinking as a producer and you're asking the questions producers ask themselves. Listen, this is my facility. We're already producing 2 widgets. We have fixed cost. right? On very variable cost, this. Listen, with my staff and overhead, how can I run? Should I run this factory 247 or go from one shift to two shifts or two shifts to three shifts? Because the outcomes and the outputs I want my investment to make, I want to multiply it. This is why the people who invest in coaching, that's why the question you're asking, this is why they invest to say, maybe what is in the way is I need to know more. Who knows more? Who is getting 10x the results I want? What is that person doing differently that I'm not doing? Listen, let me go to their conference. Let me go and listen to this person. Maybe I can learn from them. Oh, let me read Bill Gates' book or this person's book. What is Elon Musk doing? He is a human being like me. What food is he eating? This is why you will notice those who start. Do you know one thing that people start investing in? Fitness instructor, because the food you're eating is in the way. You wake up in the morning, you're like tired. What did I eat last night? I need to sleep more, exercise more. Why? Because I have more energy to deliver for today. You start seeing that all areas of your life has to improve for your outcomes to improve. So you are asking your next level questions. You are asking the right question. So I don't want you to feel like, oh, why am I feeling this way? Because when you start producing, you realize this is where Jesus talked about. Whatever area is not producing, I will prune that ye may bear more fruit. I will prune. And the pruning exercise is for the individual. What are you going to prune? What do you believe that is no longer serving you? What do you now need to know? The second thing I'll talk about, just to complement what I just shared, is also exposure now matters. Because if you don't expose yourself to the set and gain a sense of possibility of how big the pie is in your industry, you might still be fighting for a small piece of pie. Do you understand? Exposure is the key for success. When you expose yourself and you see people are making millions doing the same thing you're doing, you say you're in fashion. Listen, those who are in that same fashion that you are getting certain results in, if you are satisfied with that result, you stay where you are. If you are dissatisfied, go and read a book on the leading fashion leaders, right? The people in your industry that are building multi-million dollar whatever business. Go and read their story. How did they arrive there? What investments did they pursue? How did they grow? You are asking the right questions. Like I served at the headquarters of Fortune 1. Listen, when you talk about it doesn't, when it comes to exposure, it doesn't get bigger than that. And it shapes everything I do. When I see the biggest company going after billion, we're talking billions, zero, 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 right? You'll be like, in the same heads, planets that we are engaging in, what is their vision? How did they arrive here? It took them 50 plus years. We are just starting, but let us build it right. That's why I talk about my business program. It's like, at a minimum, just build the foundation right and start stacking up and growing. So again, Abosede, you are asking the right question because you're already producing results and you want to yield more results. So lean into those questions. It will guide you to what you need to do to unlock your next levels. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tori. Abu Saidi, does that answer your question? Do you have any follow-up question before we move to the next one?
Yeah, this is very good. This is very sweet because I'm part of Madam Toyin's um entrepreneurship what's it called now, class. So as you're trying to treat this mindset with the marketing and sales, I think is a very good thing because the both goes together. You know, as both of them works together, like you can talk about marketing and now focus on the mindset because the mindset can bring everything down. So like right now I'm seeing that it's a good match, honestly. Like I'm seeing reason why this is a good combination. Thank you so much for
Let me
sharing.
ask a question. I want to put you out there, right? Where were you a year
Okay.
ago? Where, because these questions,
Okay.
where were you? The
Okay.
people need to understand, okay? Where were you
Okay.
a year ago?
Yeah.
What did you do
All
the
right.
last 1 year that now you're asking for more?
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. last year I was struggling to have a store in US. I'm currently in New Jersey. I'm a fashion designer. So my limiting belief, my mindset then was like, oh, blacks, it's not easy for people like us, to have store around and to be able to have a business and maintain it, to have a business that has structure and that is scalable. You understand? But I was able to break through with a lot of coaching and all that. But now I'm stuck with employing or hiring people to work with me. So I get to know, okay, yes, I'm okay with having a store. Yeah, I've learned how to have, my stuff's going on now. I need structure to be in place. I need people to work with me. Then I'm stuck again with with the limiting belief. You understand? So that's I'm asking that question there. Is it at every stage you need to fight that kind of belief? Because I get to know the higher I go, I need to pack more energy. So that's why I'm asking that question. So I really appreciate you mixing the sales and marketing and with the
Mindset.
mindset thing. It's a very good one because it goes together. The higher you go, you need to pack more energy, to be able to blast through any orders on your way. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
I love it. I love it because a year ago, things that you were struggling, you've accomplished it. In the last 1 year, you've broken those barriers. You were able to blast through using your words. You were able to do the things you believe you couldn't do. And now that you've conquered those new territories and you've established your store. And now you're like, okay, in order for me to grow to the next level, you need to now become somebody else that operates at the next level. Now you're not going to operate as somebody that doesn't own a store, that doesn't have that level of responsibility. Now your heart and your soul is crying out to say, okay, now that we have all of this new responsibility, now I need to deal with hiring people to get more results. Now I need this. Now you need more things that you didn't need before. Remember, part of the story they talk whenever they sing this song of more money, more problem. Listen, is that the person who is running 1,000 stores, 2,000 stores, 5 stores, right? Their level of responsibility is different. Okay. The person that doesn't have a store is different. The person who has one, the person who now, because after you go this year, if you do everything like this journey we're going on in the academy with mindset, by in a year's time ago, listen, you're going to come and ask different types of questions. You and I started talking about franchising, this. By this time next year, listen, you will come and say, Toy, I want to multiply this store. Now that I know how to run a fully functional, making money type of brand and store, I want to go 5. You realize that in a year, you can now do 5 instead of 1. This is where we keep growing. So, to your point, you're saying the right thing is that every level, we level up, right? Every new level we want to go through to, I have to become the person that can manage the new responsibilities that that level will present. And if you are not ready, this is what I've seen for those who are believers, who are faith people. Listen, your stage is waiting for you. Your place of domination has already been set. The plans God has for you is waiting for you. The key is, are you becoming the person that can occupy that space? Your promised land with flowing with milk and honey is here, is in this, right? It's here. Are you going to elevate yourself in that dimension that you can stroll in and walk in and be that person that occupies all of those things and commands all of those results? That's really the journey we are on, the journey of becoming. That's it. If you have that view in your mind, all you need to be doing is, what skills does that person have to, right? So let's say you're supposed to be a speaker. You see yourself standing in front of 50,000 people, speaking, motivational speaker. And right now, you've not spoken to 5 people, 2 people. We are calling you to come on stage on Clubhouse. You are hesitating. You have a long way to go, guys. That's why I tell people, I said 2023 is the year of results for those who have attained mastery. And for the rest, it is your year of practice. Let it be your year of practicing so that you will be ready to be a master. For those who are already masters, listen, this year 2023, they are going to kill it. This is the year. This is the year. This, let this be the year you kill it. If you've labored the last 5 years developing skills, doing all these things, making investments in yourself, sit up well, go for gold. This is the year we are going for platinum and the best things. For those who were watching us the last 5 years, striving, struggling, pulling string, right, sweating, praying, you will watch us today. The question is, if you also want those, get to work, be in practice before you attain mastery. Anyway, I've spoken a lot on that. Let me just shut that down. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you so much, Tori. Thank you for sharing that with us. I would say that thank you so much for being here on stage as well and spending time with us. This is amazing, and thank you so much for the tips and advice. So, for those who are new, guys, this is Women in Business. This is an incredible club. If you are a business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, if you're just a professional looking to get into business, right? It is a great way to network and also collaborate with other people, right? It is an amazing space pretty much for anyone, regardless if you're a woman or a man, to just hang with like-minded people. All right. So I would love for us to move to a second question, and that was the question of Inyonam. Right. What she said is that I really like this new dimension you are taking, right? Especially when it comes to goal setting,
Mhm.
grow and fix mindset. She said that she's a nurse of 20 years now. She's been a nurse actually for over 20 years now, who started her entrepreneurship journey.
Mhm.
Getting to learn in these two areas differ a lot.
Yes.
She find out pretty much because of the information that she get exposed to.
Mhm.
Now, getting coach and coaching others, how do you bridge these gaps? She
Okay.
wants to know. Toyin, can you maybe give us more insight here? Please go ahead. The floor is
I
yours, dear.
love, listen, I love the questions we are answering. I love the questions because let me tell you, questions is how you deep for water. This is how you fetch water from the depths. Master questions. I love questions. People who don't ask questions, you don't get answers. Remember, if you go to Google, the quality of the results you get on Google is the quality of the question you ask. So I love questions a lot because it's like how, if you want to fetch water from a well, you throw the right question into that well, you will come up with water. So let me bring some water now. Okay, what she talked about coaching and being coached. I'll give you my own example. So I have had the opportunity and I continue to do this. This is the investment I make in myself, my business, on and on. Every year, I host several events, and that event attracts the most brilliant minds on certain topics in the world. I host them, which means I'm now a custodian of everything they share on my platforms. I sit at the feet of global thinkers, like people, the best of the best of the best of the best in the world. I have access to them. And I'm a student of their collective knowledge because I host them. That's why when I invite people to come to my events, if you don't show up, I will show up for me. I will learn. I learn everything, right? If World Bank comes, US government comes, African Union comes, bank executive. Let me give you an example. Two banks that I introduced on my platform in 2019, they just closed the $500 million deals 2 weeks ago. I made the introduction. They didn't know each other existed. Those platforms move mountain. Listen. So my own approach of being coached, of learning, is because I have private meetings, coffee, I travel, I sit, presidential advisor, because how can I talk about economic development, business, develop my school for entrepreneurs if I don't know what I'm talking about? Listen, the world will call you out. So don't attempt to be offering things you don't know. And if you want to know more, invest in yourself. So I make extreme investments in myself that an average person would never, ever, ever, ever make. So I'm not asking you to make the investment. I'm just saying who I am. Back to the question I said, ask yourself, who do you want to become? Who I want to become requires of me to do certain things and invest in certain ways to become that person. So I'm a collection, I'm a accumulation of the reason I know what people don't know. And I teach the way people don't teach is because I have been coached by people that an average person hasn't been, right? So these are practical things to say. Who do you want to become? That should drive who you are allowed to coach you. If I'm the one Al Jazeera is calling to for commentary, for opinion, if news outlets are reaching out to me for interview, if you want to be the person that CNN, right, they're calling you, hey, we want opinion, we want expertise. If you desire to be that person, what do you have to do to be respected in that dimension and to be seen as a knowledge expert at that level? That's the question. Everybody wants the outcomes, the result. Are you ready to do the work to be the expert? So let your decisions in terms of who coaches you, who guides you, who mentors you be driven by who you want to become. The next level then to your second question is you being you coaching people. Out of that well, you can now pour on others. Out of what you know, what you've handled, what you've taught, your experience, your skills, you can now offer. For me, I never knew I would ever be coaching people because I could care less what other people were doing. But when 2020 happened, God was like, okay, so for those who may not be, I'm deeply spiritual. You know, it was like, look behind you. The people following you, do they have skills to do everything you're telling them to do? I was like, let me take a look. And once I started talking to people, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to export. I'm going to do business. Everybody can talk. If you call people and say, tell me what you're going to do this year. Oh my goodness. The list is long. If you bother to ask people, listen, everybody has what they want to do. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do this. Then I'll travel here. Then I'll do this website. And then 1,000 people will enroll and 1,000,000 people. Oh, I'm building an app. My goal is to reach 1,000,000 people. Please have those dreams. The question is, if I sniff it, if I check you out, if the world, and the world will check you out. When they check you out, what would they find? Grandeurs of nothingness, of or impact. So that dual play of investing in yourself to go to your next level, and as you go to the next level, those that you can influence, those that you can support, listen, invest. Not everybody will do what I'm talking about, right? So the times when once I decided that I'm going to teach what I know, I then had to shift my business entirely, and I had to create new pillars in my business to support that. That's why the entirety of last year, I dedicated it to building a business school and a community for entrepreneurs, because I decided that I would teach instead of just using what I know for myself. You see what I do out there. I made a commitment that I want to impact my world by educating and supporting people. And part of the highlights of last week is that I ran a program for United Nations development program, training entrepreneurs from 38 African countries, right? So let that guide you. Have your GPS, have your guiding compass. Who do you want to become? What do you want to pull off? How do you want to be perceived in the world? Who will be calling you? What opportunities do you want to attract to yourself? What opportunities do you want to be able to like eat up? Let that has to guide you in the level of investment. And then finally, I tell people, if you continue to look for cheap stuff and free stuff, just be aware you are building the cheap life and the free life, which is what is available to common. These things I'm talking about is not cheap, it's not free, it is expensive. Go and sit at the feet of those top 1% in the world. Look into their eyes and you will see that they've given their life and everything they have to get to where they are. And not everybody is ready to pay that price. So pay the price you are willing to pay, but realize that is going to determine how far you go. Listen, I'm just saying it as it is. Challenge me, right? I'm just giving you again. I offer my perspective and my experience. Over to you, ma'am, Marie.
Thank you so much, Koto. Indeed, it's amazing. This is wonderful. I am happy that we were able to dive into two questions from Abosede, of course, as well as from Anyoman. This was amazing, and I am enjoying it. So, in summary, what we saying here, and what we have been saying for the last couple of weeks, especially by the end of last year and beginning of this year, is pretty much that when it comes to business, you just have to relearn everything,
Mm,
right? Because regardless if you have a master degree, if you have a bachelor degree, you have your PhD, if you don't, you have never even went to school, right? You still have to somehow go back and learn the basics, the
mm,
fundamentals, what it means to run a business
mm,
and how to go about that, right? And which is okay, and you should be okay with that and comfortable with that, right?
mm,
Once you have that, then you have to figure out your mindset, right? And
mhm,
regardless, may that be a fixed mindset, a growth mindset, a combination of both, of even a new one that you would like to explore. It's all about how you want
mm,
to go. Pretty much just
mm,
about your entrepreneurship journey, I will say, right? Then you have your vision and purpose. And that's
mhm,
where Coach Towing again emphasize the fact that you have to be able to envision your future, your life,
mhm,
your career, your like what you want to see, pretty much what you
mhm.
want to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You have to set your
Yeah.
priorities, right? Priorities, set your goals, as we always say, right? You have to be open to learn,
Mm,
learn, learn, and learn again. But
mm,
most importantly, you have to
mm.
be able to add yourself to communities that will allow you to uplift yourself, to
Yeah.
grow, to even search for more if possible. And while you are enjoying the benefits of those communities, you also have to be able to walk into these spaces with the
Mm,
feeling that you have to add value, or you want
mm,
to add value,
mm,
right? And then you have to network. You
mm.
have to network. You have to network
Yeah.
because visibility is key.
Yeah.
If you are not asking, people will not know exactly what you're looking for. If you don't present and talk about your business, people will not know exactly what you are doing, right? And then when it comes to your
Mm,
time is everything.
mhm.
What you consume in terms of content, everything that you do on a daily basis is important, because what you consume from the first day of January is going to show by the end of December
Yeah.
this year, right? So be mindful about what you consume, what you feed your spirit, your energy, your present yourself with. And for those, just like Coach Torihala, for those who believe in God, right? Like, pay attention to that and take it into account as well as you move into your spaces. So these are pretty much just a summary of
Mhm.
everything that we're trying to say here. And we are just saying, don't fake it to make it. When it comes to skill set, it's either you get the skill set, you learn, you mature, you you get better at it, and you become even one of the best at it
Mm.
if possible,
Yeah.
right? So make sure that at least you get that out there, so that people, you can be known by your skill set, and your mindset would follow. And yes, you will have days, many days, just
Yeah.
like Abu said it, and many entrepreneurs out there, where you ask yourself if you made the right decision, if it made any sense to leave your high end job behind to follow this silly dream,
Mhm.
right? So this question will come back over and over again and second guess everything. And that's why you have
Right.
to remember, you have to go back to your map, right? You go back to your tool set and everything that we just listed, and then ask yourself again if it's worth it. That is always going to be your roadmap, where you go back to remember why you started Alcitis in the first place
Exactly.
and where you are going from here.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the session that we really wanted to leave you today when it comes to the message that Coach Tony was able to share here with us, with tips and advice, but most importantly, personal experience as well as the ability to really just take into reality, right, and be able to share some example with us. So please,
Yeah.
again, follow the mods and the people here on stage as well and the public. Follow those who are willing, the women in business club, especially the founders as well as the mods and the admins that you see here. The club is incredible for those who are in business, or those who own a business. It's a great opportunity to network and collaborate as well with others. And hey, listen, it is all love here, positivity, positive energy, positive thoughts,
Mhm.
because it is hard to be a business owner.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it is hard to build one, to
Yep.
build a business, and let alone to run a business. And on top of that, most of us have families, right? So you pretty much just end up running a lot of businesses at the end of the day. So surround yourself with really like minded people, and make sure that you always have the right energy to uplift you as much
Yeah.
as you can, so that you keep your dream and life. All
Awesome.
right. So on that note, I would love to give Coach Toyin the last word so she can leave us again, with
Mm.
incredible, I say, word and tips before we close the room. Coach Toyin, please go ahead. The floor is
Oh,
yours.
thank you so much. For me, what I empathize with, okay, this is what moves me, is for everyone to know that why the struggle is real is because the traditional education system, the people who trained you didn't train you for success. They trained you to get a job and to sit at the job and spend the rest of your life, right, at that job and get pension and retirement and just be happy there. That's what was offered to everybody. That is the kind of common path that was laid when you think about the 18 years you spent in school from beginning 2 year old up 18, 20, 22, you graduate your first degree. For the first 20, 22 years of your life, you were sold a story. That story was train yourself. Why are you getting BSc? To get a job. Why are you learning calculus? To get a job. I have a first degree in mathematics, second degree. What? Listen, I did all of that stuff. That was the promise. This is what moves me and why I created my school. The struggle is real, is because we weren't trained for this self-actualization, success-oriented mindset. We weren't prepared for it. We weren't groomed for it, particularly if you weren't raised in a household of successful people. I was lucky. So even as a teenager, I was greatly exposed. My parents were in leadership spaces, so I was exposed to royalty and all of those things. So I empathize because if God now gives you a vision, listen, I'll be my faith. I'll wrap up with my faith stuff. If you go back to now Genesis, before all the structure was put in place, God's mandate is over your life is still God's mandate, right? If He created you to do ABCD, listen, it's your job to pursue everything you need to pursue to do what God has asked you to do. You can't say, oh, they didn't give me degree. Oh, my parents didn't. That is the excuse of the day. So my empathy is now when people are being stirred within, you have a job. So the problem is not, I want to feed. What was promised to you is you will not go hungry. You have enough, build your house, and you and your family will be well. But when God starts calling on you and saying, no, 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 your impact in the world is not just what you will enjoy. You have to do more. When you now see the road, the journey, the vision God gave you, you'll be like, hey, how do I go from here to there? That's the struggle. God gave you a dream. You're going to build an empire. You're going to have businesses. You're going to do this. But your reality of today is you are clicking in, you are checking in, checking out, checking in, checking out. You wake up, you do all those routines. 2020 was a gift to disrupt all of that. Now you are awake. My thing, this is what why I've invested my own time to design classes, courses, is that those who now want to go there, you might spend the next 5, 10 years by yourself, and it will be painful. And that's why most people give up after 2 years in. You see the pain, you see the struggle. Most give up and go back to the settled life. For me, my programs are a bridge to encourage you to go all in. Now, Mr. Bosede is telling me right now, like, oh, I want to hire more people. I said, good for you, because you've crossed to the other side and you're now dreaming for more. But many people don't make that first journey to rebuild the structure of their business so that they can start stacking up, right? If you had a plan to build a 10-story building and the foundation right now cannot support that, the foundation, everything you're doing now, running all over, you don't have structure. The most powerful thing in your business is not the idea, it's the business operational excellence and structure. So if what you've built cannot hold up the life you say you're building, the business you say you're building, go back to that foundation, fix the foundation. Go back to the foundation, fix it, and then start stacking up your levels, level one, level two, level three. If you build the right structure, and the first foundation is you yourself, right? Mindset. You are building on yourself. That life you're building it on you. You are the most valuable part of everything else you want to do. So on that note, that's it for me. Thank you so much, Miss Marie. I really do appreciate it. And thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being
Instagram, I
here
have
with
to
us. Thank
close
you
out.
so
My
much for
battery run
spending
out
this
on my
hour, this
phone. I have
incredible
different
hour
apps,
with
different
us
things going
here.
on. So
Your
thank you to those
insight,
joining
your
on
your
Instagram. On
expertise is
YouTube, you can
always welcome.
You
comment.
can
It's just
continue on
incredible.
YouTube,
And
okay? My
thank you
battery's
to,
out.
in your
Thank you.
name, Betosha, Kelvin, Amos, Angel, Thomasin, Amara, and Sisi, both Richmond and Abu Saidi. Thank you for staying with us. We have spent an hour, together. So I will say Happy New Year to everyone. Well, I will say, best wishes for 2023. Positive energy, positive thoughts, incredible opportunities, lots of collaborations as you move. Keep on thinking collectively. As you move into different communities, and let's do this. All right. So thank all of you for your time, your commitment as well, and your patience to listen across my accent. Right. So thank you for your time, guys. Have an incredible weekend. Okay. And I will say God bless. Coach Tony, thank you so much, Queen, for your time and your commitment as well to the room of today. Everyone, have a blessed day, I will say, and I will see you next time. Bye bye,
Oh,
guys.
thank you. Au
Bye.
revoir. Bye. Thank you, everyone watching live streaming. Yeah, so this is something I just tried newly. So yeah, so I was invited every Friday. There's a session on Clubhouse that I'll be helping and address Q&A. And I decided, typical me, I'm like, if I'm going to invest an hour into showing up in that dimension, how do I expand the impact? So I tried to tag you all along. I hope this was beneficial to you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you gained a few things here and there. And my 10-week accelerator can be found at toyinumesiri.academy. Listen, if you want to build your business structure right, if you want to develop the skills for success, business growth and success, if you want to work on the mindset result, that's the community, that's the program you need to quickly invest in. Listen, the price is actually one of the things I do is I start the price as a certain level, but the prices are going up right soon. So go grab right your seat, get to work. They're actually the training program includes 21 hours of training, 12 workbooks, 2 ebooks. Listen, it's a school. When you're done with that school, the conversation you and I will be having will be very, very different. That's the promise, is that you will be asking more questions because you want more, you build your structure right, and you go to the next level. So God bless you. See you around. Thank you so much, Kenneth, for joining, Kenneth, Peter, and others that joined. I hope this was beneficial. Let me know, right? Because being on Clubhouse is a closed system, so I had to just host it on my app, and then I also had Instagram, so that you could share in that experience. But I know it's not the perfect experience. It's not perfect, but hopefully you gain something today by me connecting you to that conversation. So see you around. God bless you. Have a nice weekend. Okay. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. I see more. God bless you. Yes, thank you. Bring in the blessings and share. Okay, share this. Let me put you guys to work. Share, like, subscribe, follow. I need to start saying more of that. Share, like, subscribe wherever you are. Right? If you gain something, tell a friend. Listen, do you follow Miss Toying? You need to follow her. She shares a lot, and people need it this time. So be nice to your people. Be nice to your community. Share this. Okay. Bye for now.